Hey everyone, Glimpse here, back with part 5 of my Stalker series. This will be on the Enhancement Stones, and it will be pretty in-depth. I waited for a while on this one. I want to talk to a few people, namely Arexial, who always has long discussions with me and loves testing stuff out. So first we'll go over on how to use them and what they do. Alright, so first things first, what do Enhancement Stones do? So they add a stat bonus to the armor that you want to wear, either in the form of Stone 1, which adds 1 stat bonus, or a darker tint stone like this, has this kind of color, Stone 2, which will give you a stat bonus of 2 for only 1 slot. And each armor has a specified number of slots you can use. Once you hit that specified number, you can't add any more to it. For instance, on this one, this is a full Stone 2 AGI level 60 armor. So 5 slots give me a AGI bonus of 10 because I have Stone 2. And how to use them, all you have to do is just drag the stone over to the equipment that's in your inventory. If you have the armor on, all you have to do is press U, bring up your character sheet here, and double click whatever equipment you want to enhance. It'll take it off and put it in your inventory. Take the stone, drag it over. You'll get this message whether you want to accept it or not. It's nice to have this if you accidentally enhance something. So one very important thing about the stones is if you're more than 10 levels above the enemy, they will no longer drop for you. So at my level currently, the only enemies that drop stone that I can pick up Stone 1 are the Sentinels and the Poison Sentinels. Once you get past level 60, the Stone 1s no longer drop. They are Stone 2 remains only. So you will have to craft your Stone 2 or buy them from other players. Okay, so there are 5 kinds of stone in the game, and there's one that we don't know the use for. The first 2 here are the ones we're going to be focusing on the most. This end one is up to you. We'll go over that. The next 2 here we don't use at all. These are good for trading for STR or AGI stone. SPR is not used really by anyone. Some mages will enhance it with that, but this is mostly for Bronze Skull, and we'll go over that too. The Failed Stone, we have no idea what it's used for yet. The theory is that it will allow you to remove stones that you've already enhanced equipment with. That would be nice in the future, or another way to make stones that would cost less remains, but that's yet to be determined. Okay, so in addition to the complete Stone 1, there are stone remains of each one as well. For the first level here, you only need 5 in order to make a complete one. For Stone 2, you need 10. They are significantly harder to make. And there are a few ways to get these, but you won't really necessarily need to worry about it until you're around the Memphis level, or if you're having trouble getting these, because these drop from the mobs as you fight them, the whole entire stone. But if you are trying to find these, there's a few ways to get them. The main one being the Wolfkin and the Werekin that Lucas spawns. You can fight these on a normal day on the world boss map, but you have to wait till Lucas in order to get these. He drops the STR and AGI ones, and the Wolfkin drops the End and SPR. There's no int remain one for these. I don't know why. Maybe add it to the Werekin later on. The newest way is completing the factory. You get a gift box with one of these in it and some other items. But the main way is the Kaimo and the Krundolf's random box. You get this from completing the repeatable quest of Fungarum and the repeatable quest at Memphis. This is my favorite way to do it. You get these quite a bit once you get to that level. But anyways, once you have these, there's a shop you can go to in Goldham. You have to find the Hat Hut right here and go up to this little area. Once you're outside, you can go over to this gem store. Click the NPC, click shop, and you have to forge each one of these, so it'll take a little time. But you'll notice the difference in between the difficulty level here. It ramps up the skull count, and these are a lot harder to get than the Stone 1 remains. So once you do that, you can forge a whole entire stone. Okay, so this NPC Arlen here is where you can exchange the mini tickets and the full tickets from. Minis are obviously the remains, and a full ticket, which I don't have here now, are the full complete stones. We already talked about how to get this one, but the mini Arlen ticket 2 currently is from the Anubis dungeon completion. You get a gift box for completing him, and this is inside of it. The full Arlen Ticket 1 and 2 are only from events, and I think the Arlen Ticket 1 might be in a quest. But the only way I know how to get a full Ticket 2 is from winning an event. So anyways, once you have those, you have to come to this map here, which is, if you start off on Golem, left, and then up in the corner here. You have to complete his quest. That's the only downside in order to access the shop. But once you do, it's not like a forge, you can just exchange them immediately. But be a little bit careful. These enemies are aggro, so I would recommend clearing them out before you actually go and talk to him, because around this level you will die pretty quickly. Alright, so in addition to enhancing your equipment, you can also trade in your stones for Bronze Skull. The only one we're going to trade in is the SPR, unless you have an alt that you want to test some stuff on. But the other ones we can find a use for, so SPR is the only one that I would recommend trading in. Bronze Skull are useful for buying at his shop, or for the mounts in the game that you can forge at Golem. They all require Bronze Skull in order to use. But if you're not worried about the mounts and the cosmetics, that's fine. I will say, however, that the shop has just been updated, the weekly shop, so there's new stuff. For instance, this set, the Exterminator set, is now in the shop, and these are kind of pricey. So if you are worried about cosmetics or you want some, I would recommend saving. But anyways, click Yowies here and the relics part on his shop. You'll notice there is a second line for the stones, and each one gives 300. So that's nice. There's also some digging stuff you can do too. I would not recommend doing the stone 2 remains here for 400. That's a slap in the face. Do not do that. Alright, so shoutouts to Arexial on this next part. When I first started off as Stalker, I just kind of rushed through a lot of the quests. I worked with Alco towards the end, but in the very beginning, like level 30 and level 40 stuff, I kind of just rushed through it and didn't really pay attention too much. Wasted a lot of potions and died quite often, so I didn't keep a lot of skulls because I had to keep rebuying stuff. So I wanted to collect everything. I turned in end stones for bronze skulls for the mounts and the shop. But these can be added to some of the mid-level equipment to help you survive longer. Once you get some of the buff stuff down, it will help quite a bit. And like Arexial says, I never even thought about it, the scaling in the beginning is much easier, and it goes up a lot. I shouldn't say easier, but it scales quite a bit. So you won't lose a whole lot of damage per second. So it's real nice to conserve the potions and conserve your skull in order to buy higher level equipment, etc. So yeah, big shout out to him. A lot of what he's talking about in here are event stuff, and I kind of wanted to shy away from that. But if you happen to be able to get it from other players, or there's an event going on, they are really good. So go ahead and read this if you want. Just pause the video. But there's a lot of good information here for the equipment side, and we'll see you next time.